Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Today's video is going to be about Isaac Schmidt. Of course, we never got a chance to do a video on him because the end of the deadline was so hectic. And of course, Leeds played yesterday against Hull City and won 2-0. Also, before we get into this one, is the tragic news that ex-Leeds United, Cardiff City and many other clubs player Sol Bamba has passed away at the age of 39. So, of course, all of our thoughts go out to his family at this difficult time. He was what seemed like one of the nicest men in football. There's so many pictures and videos coming out of him now doing nice things for people. So may he rest in peace. So let's talk about Isaac Schmidt then. Isaac Schmidt is a fullback who can play in both fullback positions and central midfield. Does that remind you of anyone? Stuart Dallas? Stuart Dallas, maybe anyone? Well, he's not exactly the same type of player as Stuart Dallas, but he can certainly do a good job in those positions. He's a right-footed left-back. He's primarily played as a left-back for St. Gallen in the Swiss League. Last time he played, I mentioned this the other day, but last time he played against Wilfried Gnonto in the Swiss League, of course, he playing for FC St. Gallen, he was sent off straight red for a knee-high challenge on Wilfried Gnonto. And hopefully the greeting wasn't too frosty is all I'll say when they came back in. I would imagine with Wilfried Gnonto, they'll have laughed it off and it'll have broken the ice. But he is what you would call a little bit of a hidden gem, I think. He's 24 years old, coming from the Swiss League where, I'm going to be honest, I hadn't heard of him before until I started having a look into him, and what I've seen of him, he looks great. He looks really, really good. He looks like just the kind of fullback that Daniel Farke would want in his team and in his system. His heat map for last season shows him spending a lot of time going up and down the wing, especially that left-hand side. So primarily he's been playing on the left with a right foot. So it's important to remember that for his ability to actually cut inside, you know. And what I think that kind of offers is actually a different option, because Isaac Schmidt is so good on the ball that the rotations that he can provide over, let's say, any other fullback who is on their natural side might actually be a little bit of an unknown quantity for the opposition. Now, we've talked about the half space and how that's the lines between the edge of the box closest to the touchline and the edge of the D on the edge of the box as well. So it's basically between the fullback and the centre-back, and it's a really, really good place to score goals from. A lot of the time we've talked about the wingers drifting inside, going into that space, allowing the fullback to go down the line. But what having a fullback like Isaac Schmidt allows you to do is allows you to actually send that winger out wide and allows him to be the one that cuts inside into the half space. And now, last season he scored 2 goals. But from what I've seen over his time at St. Gallen, he's scored some absolute bangers from outside the box. So if he can get himself inside and into that space with an ability to curl the ball or even laces, he's got a lot of different techniques to his shooting, a lot of strings to his bow. He could probably score a few goals from outside the box, and this is a fullback we're analysing. So yeah, Isaac Schmidt, he's certainly something different is what I'll say. And I'm kind of happy to see, well, I'm very happy to see him come in the door, because I think what it does is it provides a left-back option behind Firpo, even in front of Firpo, even though Firpo was fantastic yesterday. It provides a full-back option that can play on both sides, and so can Sam Byram. So if needs be, either of them can play either side. So it's a really good kind of flexibility to have. Isaac Schmidt then, he's very, very good on the ball. He's very good at carrying the ball. He's one of those players who always seems to just get to the ball just before the opposition. He always commits, but he always gets there just before the opposition and just takes it away from their toes. Like I said, he's good on the ball, good dribbling, can carry the ball forward as well. And he's the kind of player where you kind of not expecting a fullback to do the things that he does, and once he takes it past a couple of players, you go, whoa, hold on a sec, this guy isn't your regular fullback, which I think is why he's able to play that central midfield role as well, because he is just so good on the ball. He's able to control the ball. He's pretty press resistant as well. Do you know what press resistant is? Basically, Sergio Busquets was like the most press resistant guy you could ever see. anyone comes near him, he just turns the other way. He just knows. He flows with the ball. He knows where the opposition are coming, who's closing him down, and how to just escape from that easily and just get away and move on and play a nice pass. But Isaac Schmidt, he knows when to play the short pass. He knows when to come back and play it across, but he also knows when to go forward as well. And I think he does like to get involved in a lot of that attacking play for FC St. Gallen, or did until he made his move, of course, to Leeds United. So I'm excited to see what he can do over the course of this season, because I certainly think that what it does, if not gaining him an instant starting place, it will put him in competition with both fullbacks, and they will both have to raise their game to stop him getting in the team. And if he does get in the team, it means that he's raised his game to their level or above. So therefore, he should be in the team because he's playing that well in training and maybe the FA Cup and stuff. But I certainly think this is a really, really good, shrewd signing. For around what was rumoured to be 4.6 million, it's not massive amounts. Bogle was about 5 million. But if he's on a similar level, I think it's a good deal. I think it's a very good deal. I think Transfermarkt only rated him at around 1.6 million euros, which obviously we've paid a lot more than that. But the true valuation of a player comes down to what he means to the club, as in, if you lose him, are you going to be a weaker team? Do you need a lot more monetary compensation to go out and buy a replacement? And I think FC St. Gallen will be pleased with the amount of money that they've got for him, given that they're in the Swiss League and there's not a massive amount of money floating around in clubs in that league. But Isaac Schmidt is somebody who I think we're going to see a lot of this season. And it's nice to see somebody like that coming on a permanent deal, because he's 24, he's still young, he's got potential to get even better as well. Of course, you have to take it with the caveat that he's been doing this in the Swiss League, but we've seen over the years that the Swiss League isn't terrible. There's been some teams that have done really well and got fairly decent results in the Champions League and stuff like that as well. I know that's not always a tried and tested kind of theory on whether anyone will be good, because we had a lot of players come from Salzburg who didn't particularly work out, and they played a lot of Champions League football. But Isaac Schmidt, I think he's going to be different. I think that the way that he plays, he's a solid build. He seems strong. Aerially, he's good as well. He's good at winning headers. So I think defensively from corners and potentially on attacking corners as well, we might actually see, say it quietly, but we might actually see a headed corner go in the back of the net. So hopefully Isaac Schmidt's the one to get that. Of course, we've got the international break now, so I think what that does as well is allow somebody like Schmidt to learn the system, learn the way that Leeds want to play. And I think with him bombing up the left-hand side and being able to cut inside, use that half space, and actually sometimes finds himself in the number 10 position as well, because he drifts so high up for St. Gallen. I don't know whether Daniel Farke will try to apply more structure to his game than that, but I certainly think that with the players we've got and the ability we've got, there's an opportunity here to let him play his game, to let him do what he does best. And I think you'll see good results from that, because I think it allows even more options. When we were talking about the other day, flooding the box and opening up those half space and chances for people, if you've got the fullback who can offer that extra option, like I mentioned before as well, I think what it does is it just gives you a little bit of something extra, a little bit of an extra way to break down the opposition. But I think Isaac Schmidt is going to be fantastic for Leeds United. So that's the kind of that's the eye test. That's what I've seen of him. That's what I think of him. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Like I said, I'm very, very happy with that signing. Of course, I didn't get time to talk about it before. Make sure you do stick around though, because I'm still going to be trying to upload as much as possible in this international break. So if you want your Leeds United fix, come and watch it on Leeds Lately. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.